Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to be talking about the next pair of banners to be dropping to Global Opera Omnia, and that's going to be none other than the Ace and Barts banners. Now with these two banners, we do have returning LDs, we do have Kimahri's LD weapon and the Ferris LD weapon. Now Ace will be getting a rework, his LD and his BT/BT+. Bartz will be getting his BT+, Kamali will be getting his LD boards, and Ferris, well, Ferris is not actually getting anything, sadly. So we're not going to be talking about Ferris at all. We're going to be focusing on the other three characters. Now, this in-depth video is going to be a little bit different. I've already talked about Ace and Bart's BT+, their effects, their LD weapons, and I've talked about a whole bunch of things in the Should You BT+ video that I made last week. So if you want to check that video out, please click the link down below in the description of the video or in the pinned comment, so that if you want to learn more about them, how I feel about them, characters that synergize well with them, so on and so forth, like I did with the Yustola and Zidane video, then please check that video out, and then you can come back to this video because I do have a special guest who will be joining me in the Should You Pour portion of this video. Now, also with this video, I am not going to be talking about Ace's rework or Kimahri's LD boards in depth. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to post that information down in the pinned comment as well, so that way you guys can take a look at that, because we will be briefly mentioning a few things about that, as well as we talk about whether or not it is worth pulling on any of these two banners. So we're going to be skipping a good amount of stuff in this video, because I mainly just want to focus on the fact, is it actually worth pulling on these two banners? Because you guys already know I'm trying to like condense stuff and make sure that I get, you know, things that is already accessible out the way, so that way you guys can hear my thoughts. But in this video, it'll be me and my good friend's thoughts, and you know, we'll talk about you know, all of the important stuff, and you know, our views, our opinions on said characters, so on and so forth. So with that being said though, guys, if you guys do enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future Opera Omnia content. Also, do let me know if you guys want to see more in-depth videos where I do have other people joining me in the Should You Pour portion of the video, or if you just want my good friend of mine to be a part of it, do let me know in the comment section below. But other than that, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's talk about whether or not it is worth pulling for any of these four characters. Now, like I mentioned earlier in this video, I do have a special guest who has appeared in my channel a couple times, and I have shared his video in the past as well. One recently was the Kadaj run, where he brought him into the Guy Lufenia, and he did not even switch him out, which I was pretty impressed, because you know, as a person who does not consider any of these characters to be brought in these Lufenia Plus fights, I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that he was used in this fight. But yes, I have brought my friend Kaiden once again, and he will be joining me in the in-depth Should You Pour portion of this video. So welcome back, man.
Cough, cough, mother, cough, cough. Good to be here. Good to be here. What can I say? I'm very, very happy to be here. I just wanted to know more than anything else that when Lost asked me to come in for this, I definitely wanted to take time to actually thank everybody. And on top of that, you Lost for having me here, so thank you very much. And on top of that, for those who didn't watch that run, I know I was really badass, and I know Kadaj was really badass too, but it's cool. It's okay. We all ask where my mother is all the time.
Oh, people are going to be questioning, does he have issues?
I have fixation issues. Yes, I do have fixation issues.
So we're gonna start off with Kimahri, and we're gonna be briefly talking about whether or not it's worth getting his LD weapon. So like I mentioned earlier, he is in the Ace banner. So if you do manage to get his LD weapon, if you hadn't already gotten it before, you do actually get some pretty good things. So aside from the defensive auras that he already has, and the other auras being the initial Brave Up, Attack Up, Brave Regen, and the HP Regen, You are also getting some additional stuff with the LD boards via that you are getting Brave damage up, HP damage up, and Overflow up. And on top of that, as long as you keep everybody's HP above 50%, you actually get additional percentages with that, which is pretty solid. So if you do manage to get his LD ability, or LD weapon, excuse me, is it actually worth building him up? In my opinion, yes, because I mean, he does have those strong auras. He does help you out in keeping your team alive. Like, you know, he will be able to protect you against some of those nasty attacks. Obviously, he won't be able to fully protect you against like every single thing, but like he'll be able to, aside from like those defensive auras, he'll still be able to help you out in that area, but of course providing you with some other good stuff as well. What do you think, Kai?
When it comes down to Kimahri, I think that we've just had a lot of different support units that just came out, like where Queen excels in offensive capability for the team, Kimahri will also excel in defensive capability. They both have healing utility in their kit as well, where they both have regen, and they both have heal on command with their LD uses as well. But a lot of things that Queen has, where she has like the party last stand, and she has like HP damage, brave damage increase. Kimahri also has the brave damage increase and the HP damage increase. He just doesn't have the. They both have HP damage reduction as well in their kits. But when it does come down to it, Kimahri does have something that Queen does not have. Where Queen has last stand, Kimahri has total blind. So if you missed out on a couple of the supports that just recently ran through, and if you're in need of a support, a very, very powerful defensive support as well, Kimahri can do that. And if you guys are being hit frequently, like a lot or frequently with HP attacks, Kimahri can definitely help out with those as well. He does have a very, very powerful ability with not just his LD, but the HP command that he does get, and on top of that, it will give him a instant turn, and on top of that, give him a instant refill of his EX gauge as well. So with that being the case, if you're in tough spots and you need to make sure that you're dodging the next recast hit, Kimahri will take care of that for you, provided that the enemy does not cleanse their debuffs beforehand. But there's not a lot of bosses that we have coming up that'll cleanse their debuffs right away. But he does have spots where he comes in very, very nice, very, very handy, and he does come in and save the day with good time, ability uses and good time HP command with that, and along with his EX as well. So I definitely feel like he's got a mixed bag, but I enjoy the fact that he has so many things that he offers to the table when it does come down to his kit.
Now we're gonna talk about Ace. Now I know you're excited. Well, actually, we're both excited about Ace. Let's be real.
Right.
What do you think about like Ace? Is he worth pulling to you?
Yes, I feel like Ace is very worth pulling to me, just because of the fact that Ace fits my playstyle a whole lot. I have done runs where I have no turn to boss. I have runs where I definitely let the boss act, and Ace is a very, very strong pick for me, just because of how strong his offensive capability is, whether he is doing on-turn damage, off-turn damage, and enemy counter damage as well, because he will, like, his traps will be going off with his LD. His traps will be going off on both his turn, his ally's turn, and enemy turn. So there's 3 different ways of him dropping HP damage throughout the entirety of the fight. However, Ace does come across one big weakness, and that weakness is if defenses are too high, like any DPS, you need to be able to get around those. So you want to definitely roll him with team members who can definitely enchant his damage, or enchant and imperil, or increase his offensive capabilities even more. As a DPS unit in his own right, Ace deals a lot of damage real fast, real hard. However, he does have a lot of longevity built into his kit now as well with his LD. His LD debuff being able to apply a trap, then the trap going off after the enemy acts. And then he can also reapply the HP trap as long as he's using the HP command after the LD. So you definitely, Ace is a tactics unit where all of his actions can be very, very beneficial to your team and detrimental to the enemy, as long as you're timing his movements correctly. Like, he always has a trap in place now that he has his trump card. So definitely have to give thanks. And on top of that, the auras that come along with it. his BT effect is even greater effect for me, just because of the fact that he has increased stat weights across the board. Like, he has very, very powerful offensive auras built into his burst effect. But not only that, once his burst effect expires, you get a very, very powerful nuke, and that nuke is not to be played with. That damage output is very, very nice on his BT finisher effect. But definitely going to be using him in more offensive playstyle, and I can even use him in defensive playstyle as well. So I have best of both worlds when it comes to Ace.
Exactly. And like if you pair him up with the characters like many characters that provide like Brave Gainer, which, you know, I know me and many other content creators have probably mentioned like the whole Brave Gainer fighting against like the Brave reduction and whatnot, you know, and I myself have mentioned like a couple characters, especially like me myself, Porm. I know probably others have probably mentioned like Setzer, which I know you don't have to worry too much about, like the whole Brave gains or the Brave reduction or anything like that. Yeah, whenever you use him, but like, you know, for those who decided not to pull for Setzer, those who are sticking with like support characters and are relying on support characters, definitely pair up very well with Ace. And if you are able to add on top of that all of the auras that those support characters have on top of like Ace's BT effect and the little bit that he is providing with his LD ability and the two auras that he is providing with that, you're gonna have yourself a very, very solid DPS character if you decide to BT plus Ace. And I mean, you do have two BT effects that you can snag with Ace if you decide to actually go into the BT phase with Ace. And you know, aside from all that, I mean, like, you know, longevity wise, he is definitely there longevity wise. I myself am going to be BT plusing Ace only because I plan to use him a very good amount, but seeing as how with all of everything that he is providing and the amount of usage that he does have for future Lufenia plus fights, especially one that still haunts me to this day, I will be BT plusing him, you know, for those reasons, and because he definitely fits my playstyle a whole lot more. Now, lastly, we'll talk about Bartz. Now, Bartz, he will be getting his BT plus. He's not getting anything else with that. One of the key things about Bartz is the fact that he's finally getting that wind enchant, which is what a lot of players have been waiting for. He also will be getting that Brave gains up as well, which, you know, again, countermeasure against the Brave reduction. So with the wind enchant, that'll definitely help out as long as you have that wind resist down debuff on the enemy, or if they are already weak against wind, then obviously you will be doing that weakness damage on the enemy. And then of course with the Brave gains up, you know, that will help out with the reduction. And then with the other few things that he does have with his kit, with his BT effect, the other key thing is the fact that whatever HP damage that you deal onto the enemy, you do get 50% of that damage back in Brave. So what do you think on Bartz?
Because I already have Bartz, I have both his LD and BT. I already know the offensive capability, the offensive supportive capability that he does offer to the team, like already. With the BT effect, as you said before, it being able to enchant the team with wind. Not only is he going to be able to be an absolute destructive unit on his own, but he's also going to be making the team more destructive as well. I would say more than anything else, if you're going to be using Bartz, you're definitely going to be using Bartz in a more offensive setup to where he can actually be able to buff your team to where they're always going to be dealing a lot more damage on top of the effects that the team will be having, and the bravery fund that the team will be having when they're dropping HP attacks. I feel like when it comes down to it, it's a matter of preference when it definitely comes down to Bartz, just because Bartz is so universal and Bartz has been talked about very highly. He's always had high praise when it comes down to his BT effect.
Yeah.
However, when it does come down to it, Bartz has a lot of single target hits where his LD is 2 hits, and his missile is also 2 hits as well. So there's that. He does have like a lot of shaving capability and auto break capability as well, so he does have that in spades. I would definitely bring more offensive units with him to compensate for a lot of his actions, definitely, and definitely be able to use his BT effect to your team's benefit. And definitely I definitely want Bartz to move as little as possible, so that way the team is able to really maximize the damage output with his BT effect. You cannot go wrong with Ace. You cannot go wrong with either Ace or Bartz being in the team, but both of them definitely provide very, very powerful abilities. I just definitely want to look at them and see. I can definitely see them in two different setups or two different team comps when I'm rolling with either Bartz or Ace.
Yeah. And like I know a lot of players have mentioned to me in the comment section below, or have told me like in Discord, that they have skipped on BT Plusing the first pair of BT Plus characters only because they are waiting for Ace and Bartz, because there are actually many players who are planning to BT Plus both of these characters because of how good they are, and because of like the longevity that they provide, and like everything that they are providing and will be providing for the next coming Lufenia Plus fights, which is not a bad move at all. It's actually a pretty smart move. But if you decide to BT Plus one of these two characters, you really are not going wrong if you decide to go with one or the other. If you go with Ace, it's still a good decision. If you go with Bartz, it's still a good decision. You are not going wrong with either or. You just have to look at it on which characters you have that you can pair them up with. You know, because if you don't have the right characters, then you may have made a mistake in choosing your BT Plus characters for these two pairs. For this pair, excuse me. So, I mean, what do you think? Like, do you have anything else to add to it?
Like, when it comes down to them, I would definitely say to everybody who's contemplating pulling or is still unsure about pulling, definitely look at your roster and see what you do have versus what you don't have, because these two do very different things in their team comps, especially in their BT effects. You're looking at Wind Enchant with Wind and Peril built into Barts, and on top of that, you're looking at Brave Damage, you're looking at Brave Refund with Barts. As long as you're dealing HP damage, you're getting a hefty portion back, along with the Brave Gains. However, once it does come down to it, Ace is definitely more offensive with his BT effect, and you definitely want his BT effect to end, not quickly, but you definitely want it to go off just so you can get that big nuke out. But with Bartz, you definitely want to hold it a lot longer, just because you definitely want your team comp to take full advantage of it. I know that a lot of people are definitely going to be running Sid Reigns and Aphmau together, and if you do run Sid Reigns and Aphmau together, having Bartz there will pretty much guarantee that Sid is going to be doing the absolute amount of damage possible. Aphmau will also be able to work well with not just her buffs, but will be able to work well with Bartz as well, and on top of that, help her deal a little bit more damage in comparisons. And on top of that, Bartz being there in the team 100% without question, after every launch, everybody's going to be getting Brave back. But when it does come down to it, if you're not a fan of the launch route, or if you're not a fan of, let's just say, the continuously rapid ping-ponging of Sid Reigns and Aphmau, and you want to do something of either more offensive or more defensive, or if you just want to be looking at something that's catered to more your own playstyle and you want to go with Ace, there are multiple different ways that you can use both of them. However, I definitely feel like for me, because I am going for the green for Ace, if I can get his BT, knock on wood. But when I am looking at Ace, I'm definitely seeing Ace plays more to my playstyle, and I will benefit more from Ace just because of what all he offers. And on top of that, because I love playing around debuffs. Ace is just a very powerful debuff unit, especially with his LG. That defense down is potent enough to where you can tell the difference. And on top of that, the stat increase that come along with not just his burst effect, but the Shuzaku's trump card buff that comes along with him, and his EX auras. They all have different effects, but they all provide something that pretty much makes him stand out even more. So it just, again, if you're still on the fence about them, or if you have any questions about them, it doesn't hurt to do research or to match or to make sure that you're going into the one that you're looking at. But definitely make sure that you're going about it in the correct way possible, the most optimal way possible, and making sure that you're greening your favorites. I mean, if anything else, I'm a huge fan of greening your favorites over what people call meta, but at the end of the day, they both serve their purpose extremely well. Once that BT effect is on for both of them, something's going to die. It's just a matter of how many turns it's going to take to kill it. So I'm a major fan of that.
Exactly. So with that being said, guys, you guys let me know in the comment section below what your plans are, what they are going to be for these 2 banners. If you're going to be pulling on both of the banners, one of the banners, who are you going to be BT plussing? Let us know in the comment section below. And of course, please check out Kaiden's channel, because I'm assuming you're going to continue the Kadaj runs.
Of course, naturally. My Kadaj is not going anywhere. And on top of that, big shout out to the EX only units on these banners, and we completely and totally skipped over Ferris. I love you, Ferris. You will always be my defense down call. But when it does come down to it, don't forget that Freya's on Bart's banner and Lisa's on Ace's banner. I'm a huge fan of Lise. I really like what they got for her and JP, but for now, Lisa's Lise. And Freya's Freya. But, you know, I want to pay homage to those who come before. Got to give it up to the EX Plus only units.
I feel like I'm gonna have to edit a picture in there with a tombstone in the background.
Yo, Alfie would be very proud of this, and I hope, Alfie, if you ever see this, I did least justice by this, but Ferris is also an LD unit that also coming back, so if you guys did not get her before, definitely pick her up, because she is a very powerful debuffer. She has a lot in her kit.
But yeah, make sure to check out Kaiden's channel. I will have his link down in the description of this video and attached with the pinned comment as well. And yeah, with that being said, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, take care, guys. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye!